Every year, XRP Ledger Apex highlights the growth of the XRPL community. We welcome developers, institutions, industry leaders, and blockchain innovators from around the world for insightful discussions, hands-on workshops, and networking opportunities that shape the future of the ledger. In 2025, we are thrilled to bring the event to Singapore. Come meet me, Brad Garlinghouse, Monica Long, and many others in Singapore this June. Together, let's drive the next wave of blockchain innovation. I hope to see you there.
Hey, what's going on, bull runners? Welcome back to the channel. Have you ever wondered what's really going on behind the scenes in crypto right now? I mean, think about it. One day you hear about a top Ripple executive quietly selling stocks. Why? Then you see gaming giants crumbling while something called on-chain gaming keeps popping up, promising a future that's still not here. And now get this, Conor McGregor, yeah, the UFC legend, just dropped his own meme coin. Wild, right? But here's the thing. These aren't just random headlines. These are signals of something bigger shifting in the crypto world. And if you're not paying attention, you might miss it. Today, we're diving into these stories, breaking them down so that you know what's the hype, what's real, and what could actually matter to your wallet. Because let's be honest, the crypto market moves fast, and waiting too long, well, that's how you get left behind. So stick with me, because by the end of this, I'm going to have something extra for you as well, an exclusive sneak peek into our exclusive crypto community, Altcoin Pro University, where average everyday traders like us are winning every single day. Plus, we'll be jumping over to X to find out all the breaking news that's happening in the financial world right now. We will also be jumping into the XRP charts at the end of the video to find our next support and resistance levels that are important to you. Plus, we'll be checking on our short-term and long-term momentum waves for XRP. We're also going to find out the top Ripple exec that claims that he sold his stock to harvest losses. And we'll do a deeper dive into crypto gaming. There is word now that officially GTA 6 is coming out in August. Will gaming start to bring the hype back to crypto? And yes, Conor McGregor did officially launch a meme coin. And so much more in today's video. So if you're like most people where you don't have the opportunity to spend hours a day in the crypto news like we do for you here on this channel, make sure you subscribe today. And if you're feeling bullish about this current bull run, let me know by commenting 777 down below. But first, let's head over to CoinMarketCap and check out the overall health of the crypto market. It is an absolute bloodbath this Sunday, unfortunately. We are currently now total market cap 2.5 trillion. Remember, we were inching closer and closer to that $3 trillion mark, down today 5.74%. As we talked about a couple of days ago, the most recent support was at 2.6 trillion, but today it was an absolute drop to the bottom, currently holding support at 2.5 trillion, only on $74 billion worth of volume today. Fear and Greed Index coming in at 27. Tomorrow will obviously be significantly lower. Altcoin season still listed as Bitcoin season coming in at 16%. And we've been trading in this 15, 16 level for quite some time now. In fact, the bottom that most recently came in was on March 1st. And ever since, it has not regained any altcoin momentum. And that is extremely apparent today with Bitcoin dominance up 2.37%, coming in at 62.6%. We haven't been at these Bitcoin dominance levels since February 21st. And we will continue to track the Bitcoin ETF tracker. Unfortunately, last week was a down week to the downside. No new reports yet because it doesn't sell over the weekends. But last week came in at a negative 166 million. Top 5 trending coins today, according to CoinMarketCap. Number 1, Bitcoin coming in at $78,000, down 5%. Ethereum at $1,500, down 11%. XRP number 3 coming in at $1.96, down 7%. Number 4, Solana at $106, down 10%. And ADA wrapping it up at number 5 at 57 cents, down 11% today. And taking a look at the coins by total market cap, Bitcoin number 1 at $1.56 trillion. Ethereum now under $200 billion, sitting at $191 billion. Tether coming in at $143 billion. XRP at $114 billion market cap. And BNB number 5 coming in at $78 billion. We'll skip USDC, but number 7, Solana, all the way at $54 billion now. Obviously, the market's in turmoil. Everyone's worried about what's going to happen for Black Monday, as they're calling it, potentially tomorrow when the market's officially open here.
April 15th, 2025. This is a huge date because it's the deadline for 2 high-paying tax credits that you probably haven't heard about, but you can still get if you take action right now. We've partnered with the relief consultants who are experts in the tax code who've recovered over $100 million for their clients so far. So if you're a business owner or an entrepreneur, listen up so we can get you help and reach our goal of recovering $10 million for the Bull Runners community before the April 15th deadline. So here's how it works. If you're a business owner who had employees in 2021, then you qualify for an average $150,000 check from the Treasury and possibly more with the Employee Retention Credit Program. So if you were told in the past that you don't qualify, get a second opinion now through the link in the description below this video, because there are rules and regulations that have changed just recently. So there's a high likelihood that you do qualify now. And if you sold your business or you shut it down, you still qualify as long as you were active in 2021. So don't miss out. Schedule an appointment with the link below. Just click business owner with employees if it applies to you. There's also a second tax credit that also ends April 15th. So this is for the bull runners who are self-employed in 2021. So if you were a 1099, not W-2, and self-employment was your primary income, the Treasury check for this tax credit can go up to $32,220 with an average of $17,000. So if you were self-employed in 2021 and want to see if you haven't claimed this credit, which nobody has from our community thus far for some strange reason. We've been talking about this in several videos. I don't know, man. Maybe you just want the Treasury to keep your money. But if you want to get money back in your pocket, then schedule a consultation. Don't be lazy. Do this right now before April 15th through the link below. Just click self-employed if you think you qualify for both credits. Let the rep know on the call. And by the way, if you have your tax returns from 2020 and 2021 for this credit, it will be a faster turnaround for you. So have them ready on your call, and they can literally tell you if you qualify on your first call to get you paid. So if you need more money back in your pocket for this bull run, take action right now, click the link, and let's get you paid.
Trump's tariffs have got everyone scared out of their minds. But breaking over some positive news right now, India becomes the first nation to use XRP for oil transactions. Are you connecting the dots? So big news there coming out from Gordon over on X. Then we also have update real world assets, which we've continued to talk about. We continue to show you guys that this is a really important segment of crypto. They were definitely the standout in quarter one, with the total value locked in real world asset protocols recently surpassing $10 billion. Now, what's really interesting, if we look right here, we weren't even above $2 billion until the middle of 2023. So this has all been as of recent. We've talked about this a lot because real estate is going to be coming as a real world asset, not here yet. Stocks, bonds, some of those are starting to come through with XRP and XLM and some other companies out there launching those things. So really exciting to see things starting to trickle over and really mesh together with crypto, blockchain, and real-world assets. And just coming out, Ripple's chief legal officer, Stuart Alderati, highlighted the largest ever study of crypto holders in America, and the data speaks volumes. XRP isn't just a part of the conversation, it's at the center of a growing U.S. adoption. The message is clear: America is holding crypto, and XRP is leading the charge.
Now, the NCAA's initial survey sheds light on how Americans are thinking about crypto today. Why was it important to conduct this kind of research? And did anything surprise you in the findings?
A lot surprised me in the findings. So the NCAA partnered with the Harris Poll to conduct the largest ever study of crypto holders in America. And what we heard is that crypto is going mainstream. 1 in 5 Americans, 55 million American US adults, own or use crypto. And crypto doesn't have a type. Holders come from all walks of life, ages, genders, income levels, professions. More people over the age of 55 own crypto than people under the age of 25. Crypto isn't just for the bros, the crypto bros. Nearly a third of crypto holders are women. And this is interesting, at least I found that it was interesting. Nearly as many crypto holders work in construction as do in the technology sector. And when it comes to income, crypto isn't just for the rich. Many crypto holders are not in high income brackets. 26% of crypto owning households earn less than $75,000 a year. That's just 4 very quick metrics or data points. And when you dig into the report, there is more to learn, all of which I think some is surprising, some is not surprising, some is really just confirming what we thought. But now we have a definitive survey, the largest ever of its kind in the US, that folks can now point to and rely on.
So exciting times ahead, right? Real world assets coming on chain. We got more and more people that are excited about crypto altogether. They're starting to hear about it. We're still early, just remember. And as you know, on my segment on the channel, we talk a lot about adoption, but also regulation, because it's exciting what's coming out for the future of regulation of crypto. So everyone has clarity. That's kind of why the markets are in turmoil right now. No one has clarity on what's going to happen. We have clarity now that tariffs are in place, but other countries are just now having to start paying tariffs or start trying to negotiate. But also before that, you can see the turmoil that goes on. Well, before that, the problem was regulatory clarity as far as politics go and as far as legalities go in crypto. Well, this was a great little piece right here talking about the regulatory insight. Giancarlo Markets shared his prediction on when crypto regulations might finally pass during an epic fireside chat with Ripple CLO Stuart Alderati at Wharton's demo day.
Crypto really became political during the Biden administration. At first, there was a growing divide between what I would say Democrats like Elizabeth Warren, who didn't reflect all of her party, but certainly reflected that view that said, we want to keep political control on this. We've worked hard to get political control, and we're certainly not going to give it up to a bunch of 20-year-olds in cargo shorts and hoodies and crypto bros. But it really became political after Sam Bankman-Fried. That's where it became a R versus D thing. Sam Bankman-Fried really embarrassed the political class. What I saw, and quite clearly over the last 2 years of the Biden administration, was a wholesale effort to destroy crypto in its tracks. And some of the techniques used were outrageous. I mean, we talk about presidencies that go outside norms. The norms that the CFTC broke in the last 2 years are really quite shocking, to the point where a federal court found the SEC to have lied to the court and sanctioned them for doing that. I had one of my staffers look back. We couldn't find that it ever happened ever in the history of the SEC. Now, maybe it happened back in 50 years ago. And I'll just end on this note. The turbulence hasn't ended. The hostility has ended. But now we're in a vortex. We have an administration that is moving at startup speed in terms of implementing executive orders, moving forward on legislation. I fully expect we'll have stablecoin legislation on the president's desk and signed by the August recess. And I think there's a very good chance we'll have crypto legislation by the end of the year or early next year, certainly by the midterm.
So some well-educated insights on the potential of crypto regulation coming soon. Now, some people are freaking out about what is going on right now in crypto, obviously having a massive drop today. And we got this Kai-Yung Ju saying Bitcoin bull cycle is over. And here's why. There's a concept in the on-chain data called realized cap. It works like this. When Bitcoin enters a blockchain wallet, it's considered a buy. And when it leaves, it's treated as a sell. Using the ideas, we can estimate an average cost. So when we take a look at this chart right here, this would be the average cost and where we're at right now. So as we can see right now, Bitcoin market cap is the blue lines here, as you can see, going up and down. When we're in a bull market, we're going to get a green colored money flow indication here. When we're in a bear market, it starts to turn red. Well, as we can see, as of recently, we have dipped into the red. Now, remember, we were rip-roaring to the upside as of the nomination of Trump going into the actual inauguration on the 20th. And then basically we've been in a free fall ever since. But here we can see Bitcoin growth rate difference, market cap versus realized cap. And so for the TLDR on this, in short, when small capital drives prices up, it's a bull market. When even large capital can't push the price upwards, it's a bear market. So for example, we just recently saw Michael Saylor buy almost $2 billion worth of Bitcoin, and the price literally did not go up. And that was just last week on Monday or Tuesday. And we've continued to free fall to the downside since. Sell pressure could easily anytime, but historically, real reversals take at least 6 months. So a short-term rally seems unlikely. Now, of course, this is just one person's take. It's a very long take here. I kind of summarized that for you there. But you can see that there are some indications that that's a possibility. Now, also, some of you guys may be seeing this going around, and this is actually a very prominent point that's been made by a lot of people. In fact, people were talking about this before Trump even took office, but here's a post, an anonymous post that was posted to 4chan. This was back on March 11th of 2025. And it says here, Trump is trying to crash the stock market to at least 20% down, causing a flight into treasuries. This will cause the Fed to slash interest rates so he can refinance the debt at near zero and cause a deflationary spiral, which will lower the cost of everything. He also intends to use tariffs as an incentive for companies to build in the U.S. to avoid having them pay. The tariffs are resulting global trade war will also force American farmers to sell more of their foods in the U.S. due to retaliatory trade measures by other countries, which will directly lower the price of groceries in the United States. More than 94% of all stock is owned by just 8% of the U.S. population. Trump is literally taking money out of the rich and giving it to the poor. This is why Trump is playing a game of hokey pokey with tariffs. One day he has a 25% tariff on Mexico, the next day he doesn't. This is to cause extreme volatility in the markets and a desperate need and demand to flee towards treasury bonds, which are much more stable but offer much lower potential return. And this is also why eggs are cheaper now than they were under Joe Biden. So it's a very interesting and potential take on what's going on with the market. And it makes a lot of sense because if you were to push us into a scenario where the Federal Reserve has to actually cut rates, that's a positive thing for all of the United States. And in fact, what we saw when Trump said before he was inaugurated, he wanted Jerome Powell to start lowering rates. And then people were asking, are you going to fire Jerome Powell? And then they asked Jerome Powell, can Trump fire you? And he said, no, it's against the law to fire me. So obviously they're at odds and they're having a standoff there. Trump thinks he knows what he wants to do with our country, while Jerome Powell runs the Federal Reserve. So he runs all of the world's money, not just the United States world's money. And he thinks he's more powerful. So he's playing the games right now. Who will win this game? Only time will tell. And jumping over to our first headline, top Ripple exec claims he sold stocks to harvest the losses. And this is a very often talked about strategy when it comes to stocks and crypto. David Schwartz, a genius, they say, the chief technology officer at Ripple, recently revealed that he sold his stocks at a loss on Friday for the purpose of a tax loss harvest. The prominent Ripple executive also bought other stocks that he likes as much to maintain his exposure to the market. Schwartz says that he could potentially switch back to the recently sold stocks following a 31-day period. The rules of the IRS do not allow tax deductions if the same stocks are purchased within a month. So, for example, let's say that you have stock, it's worth $100, you sell it today, and then you had originally purchased it for $200, you're at a $100 loss, and 31 days from now, it's either at $100 or it's at $90 or whatever. You're hoping that it continues to go down at this point, obviously, because you want to buy it lower. But you bought for $200, you sold at $100, so now you have a loss of $100 per share. Now, when the stock continues to go down to $90 and whatnot, you get to buy it back at $90, however many that you want to buy, it doesn't matter. But you do get to actually write off the losses between the $200 and the $100, $200 of the purchase and $100 of the sale. And you can use that at the end of the year as a tax loss, even though you bought your stocks back 31 days later. So in a nutshell, Schwartz has used a common strategy of realizing his short-term capital losses in order to be able to reduce his taxable income. The ones I sold are the ones I recently bought. I try to keep losses short-term and gains long-term when I can, he explained. So very interesting strategy, in my opinion, doing it in April or March when he says he sold. Most people do this in November or December when the year is about to roll over, but he decided to do it in the first quarter of the year. And in huge news, mixed martial arts champion Conor McGregor launches a meme coin. Now, if you've been following Conor McGregor's current profession, he is actually an owner of BKFC, Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. It's like UFC, except for it's boxing with no gloves on at all. It's just straight bare knuckles. You cannot kick, you can't wrestle, none of that. But that's his main focus now. He's a huge investor in that, and that's what he's doing. He continues to promote himself as a UFC guy. I'm going to go back and fight and whatnot. But he also owns a bunch of other companies. but now he's getting involved into meme coins. McGregor and the project's team highlighted the fairness of a sealed bid auction approach compared to a conventional meme coin launch. Conor McGregor launched a meme coin called Real, R-E-A-L, on April 5th, which will reportedly featuring staking rewards and voting rights for token holders. Spokespeople for the project told Cointelegraph that the token was launched through a sealed bid auction to eliminate snipers and bots hijacking the token launch. The project was developed in collaboration with Real World Gaming, decentralized autonomous organization. And here you can see the Real token initial allocation breakdown. The DAO is going to get 31%, 16% is going to the community, 13.5% is the seed sale, 10% to the team, 7.5% for community staking, 7% for private sale, 3.5% strategic sale, 3.5% community airdrop, 3.6% central and decentralized exchange liquidity. That's smart that they kept that allocation there. 3% public sale and 1% for advisors. Conor McGregor went on to say, this is not some celebrity indulged BS token. It's a real game changer that will change the crypto ecosystem as well as make real change in the world. The sealed bid auction is a new way of launching a token to prevent rug pull snipers. He went on, it's about transparency. We are showing the world how it's done with integrity. And he put out an X post here. I changed the fight game. I changed the whiskey game. I changed the stout game. If you're not familiar, Ireland is very popular for Guinness beer. So he has his own stout brand that came out to rival that, and it's very popular. But he says now it's time to change the crypto game. This is just the beginning. The real token. This is real. Get the real token. So very interesting. I know that our community does have some meme coin lovers for sure. Let me know down in the comment section, is this going to be a pop-off coin or is it going to be a pump and dump? Now we have some amazing news coming in the gaming world. That's GTA 6. But as you remember, crypto gaming was supposed to be the next big wave of all of crypto, right? So obviously real world assets have taken over that. AI agents were a big deal, but last cycle, the big thing was the gaming. The gaming giants crumble, on-chain gaming promises remain unfulfilled. Despite billions in investments, Web3 gaming has failed to capture mainstream attention or solve gaming's core issues, instead recreating the same problems that it aimed to fix. So as I was going through this article, I put some notes together for you guys so you can understand, so we don't have to go through this whole entire thing. But the big deal is they're struggling. The gaming companies are struggling. They're doing layoffs, stock drops, you name it. So meanwhile, everyone's buzzing about on-chain gaming, games built on blockchain where you can own stuff like characters or weapons as NFTs. It sounds cool, right? Well, the promise is huge. Play to earn crypto, control your assets, but here's the catch. I mean, it's been years, and we're still waiting for that killer game to prove that it works. Why is this important? Well, crypto is supposed to shake up industries like gaming, but if it doesn't deliver soon, people might lose faith. For me personally, it's a waiting game. I still own several crypto coins that are games. I'm going to continue to hold those over the long term. We've got to continue watching for any on-chain gaming products that actually launches something playable, and that could be the spark that we're all been waiting for. So as we do a little searching here, I saw this post earlier. I'm not sure if it was from this person, Pinetta, and this could just be a rumor, but I've seen it multiple times now, but it says GTA 6 is officially dropping in August of 2025. For the first time in the series, the game will support cryptocurrency payments with Bitcoin, Solana, XRP already confirmed. So of course, this is just a rumor, so don't take it too exciting yet. Trust but verify. You know how that goes. All right, so let's run over to the XRP charts. We're here on TradingView. This is the weekly charts. We are basing this off of our spider line that we've continued to use, which is off the weekly charts. And it's the drop of 2018 with our pivot point and the high of 2021. We draw a ray from the candle drops to the pivot point, and it gives us a ray into the future that are support and resistance. Well, right now, we have ran into our support level here at the $1.91 level, essentially. On the weekly charts, we are right there at the 30 exponential moving average. But we've talked about this for quite some time. This level is extremely, extremely important to keep, the $1.90 level. We cannot break $1.90, or else we could be in for an extreme free fall back into the $1.29, even potentially into the $1.99 level. Very crazy stuff could be happening with what we see. Now, what's also interesting, we found this the other day. there is a nice trend line that has started to develop here. And this does come, I mean, it can trace all the way back to the highs, but this is a starting point from February 14th. And we just drew a ray with the connection point of Wednesday, March 19th. But as you can see, this line has now started to act as a nice support level for us. Today, we did actually bounce right off that. We have 2 hours and 28 minutes at this exact time when I'm recording this video. So there is a potential that it still comes down, bounces off here, and then gets back in on top of this support level on this trend line that has been created. Unfortunately, like I said, if we start to lose this level, let's do another thing here. Let's go to Heikin-Ashi candles, and we're going to see if on our daily charts, there's a supply and demand zone down here. Besides our spider lines that have been spot on and very important, we're going to take a look at this spot right here. This is a supply and demand zone, or an order book down here, order block, order book, whatever you want to call those. It's going to be at $1.45 to $1.30 range. Let's go ahead and talk a smaller time frame, 12 hours. Is there anything here on the 12 hours? Moving average, but nothing there on 12 hour. Let's go 4 hours. Going back into this climb here. So yeah, so the 4 hours also going to give us that pivot point there. And our 4 hour, there is a support level right here on these Heikin-Ashi candles. It is right here. So $1.97. And we're potentially losing that level, right? So we're getting to that level right now, and we do not want to lose that level. $1.97, which is also a spider line right there to $1.91. Hey, bull runners, are you feeling FOMO about this bull run without the right financial support? We're here to change that. We're not just about funding, we're about growing your business together. Whether you're investing in crypto, kicking off a new startup, managing your existing business, or looking to expand, we have personalized funding that meets your exact needs. Imagine starting your business or getting capital to invest $100,000 to $250,000 at 0% interest. That's not a dream, it's what we do. We've helped countless entrepreneurs like you with 0% interest funding without needing personal funds, income verification, or collateral. With just a 680 credit score, you qualify. We understand that your business can't wait, so take advantage of our quick funding approach. We look beyond the credit score with inclusive approval process that sees the big picture of your business or investment potential. Our flexible repayments are tailored to match your business cycles, ensuring you can manage repayments without strain. With access to our extensive lending network of over 5,000 options, we're committed to finding the perfect match for your business or investing needs. Plus, you'll have our dedicated team by your side, guiding you through every step of the funding journey. Whether it's buying crypto, hiring new employees, or launching a new product, we're committed to your success. Click the link to connect with our expert advisors and secure your business's future now. So $1.90 to $1.85 is where that 4 hour line comes into play. You can see it's dipped in there once, twice, even broke through there 3 times in the past. That is a really, really strong area of support as far as volume goes. There's a lot of people ready to buy here. We are actually bouncing pretty nicely off of this trend line that we've been talking about. You can see, look, it bounced right here on the 29th. It bounced right here on the 31st. It bounced right here on the 2nd and 3rd. But we just can't seem to get that rally to the upside. So support to the downside is here, $1.91, right? So $1.90, $1.91. We can even drop a little further. Even if it goes to $1.85, we're safe. If we lose that, then we got potentials of going down to $1.40, unfortunately. But what we need to do, that's support. Now, resistance is going to come into play here at $2.23. And again, these are all off the weekly spider line charts. Let's do a smaller scale. I have a 3-day spider line chart and see if there's any difference on support and resistance. Okay, so we have some good news here on the smaller time frame of the 3-day. Now, I don't use this very often because it's very noisy and the weekly ones have worked, but you can also see that these spider lines are spot on as well. It's just there's a more frequent spider line. In fact, that same level that we were just talking about, the $1.90 to $1.85, you can see that that is a spider line that comes to us from the week of January 14th, 2018. You can see that right down here when we highlight it. And we're into the future where we're sitting at now. But as we can see, it did bounce off this level right here on December 10th. It bounced off it in this level February 3rd. It almost got here February 28th, bounced here in March 11th. And now we're looking like we're going to be touching that level again. Now, the good news is if we lose that level, we talked about $1.85 being the next potential free fall, but there is another spider line here. So we got a little more safety at about $1.75. Now, what we need to see, obviously, is the bounce to the upside. We were talking about the 1100 exponential moving average on the 4-hour, right? So this blue line right here is our 1100 exponential moving average on the 4-hour chart. We held it as support, tried to rally. Unfortunately, we have now lost it as support. So if we go to the 6-hour and take a look, where's the 6 hours? Way down there. So let's check 5-hour. 5-hour comes into us at $1.88. So there's a potential of it dropping to that level. And then also the 6-hour is also riding on a spider line, that $1.73 level. So those are very bearish scenarios if that's going to happen. Looking at the bullish case, regardless, when we start to make a push, it's $2.25. We have to break through, getting us to $2.40, and then that $2.60. Those are our resistance to the upside. So as of right now, we're still looking very bearish. We take a look at our momentum lines. We were starting to get some good momentum. Look, we turned to the upside. We zeroed out, started turning to the upside. We are green on our short-term momentum wave, which is the shaft trend cycle. Unfortunately, it's starting to hook back down, and it's going to, once this candle closes, hook down pretty severe. Our long-term Wolfpack trader, it's still red. It's been red. It dropped below this line on February 4th. It's been red ever since, and unfortunately, we have not broken back above the zero line to go bullish. Even though, look at this, we had a bullish divergence come on April 3rd, and sure enough, we started to make the move up, but we lost it on the battle against the 10 exponential moving average on the daily charts. So lots of moving parts, lots of stuff going on. We do not have any bullish confirmation on the daily charts. We just recently lost bullish confirmation on the 3-day charts, but we are still bullish on the weekly charts. Now, the interesting thing about the weekly charts is that these charts take months to play out, right? So the daily chart takes weeks to play out. The 3-day chart takes a month or so to play out. The weekly charts take 2 to 3 months to play out. So we haven't started to make the move to the upside on our weekly charts. The good news is we have zeroed out on our shaft trend cycle on the weekly charts. Last time we zeroed out was here, October 28th. We started to move up, and that scenario played out until January. So we went from November, December, January, 3 months of that move to play out on the weekly charts. So if we can start to make our move to the upside, we could have the next 3 months move to the upside. But right now, we are looking bearish. Unfortunately, weekly charts, though, we are bouncing off of this level here, $1.90. We're also bouncing off the 30 exponential moving average. So I'm trying to stay positive and optimistic and hope that we're bouncing to the upside. A lot of signs are showing the opposite. This week will be a very important week for us. We need to see some positive news come in from the tariffs, and the country needs some reinforcement on confidence for the markets.
Hey, bull runners, check this out. If you want to learn how to find the next 10x, 50x, or even 100x altcoin in this video, listen to this. Our research team posted GOAT on the 13th of October of 2024 when it was right at a penny, and since then it rallied to over $1 and is currently still up over 5,000%. That's like turning $1,000 into over $50,000. Our team called Pendle at only a $16 million market cap, or 16 cents, back on February 18th of 2023, all the way back here, and since then it's rallied up over 4,000%. That's a 40x. It's like turning $1,000 into over $40,000. Our team also called BitTensor Tau September 15th, 2022, before the token was ever even launched. And since then, Tau has rallied over 2,000%. That's a 20x. Our team even said Solana is most likely to be one of the easiest trades next year, and this was posted December 29th, 2022, on the day that Solana bottomed out at around $8. And since then, Solana looks like it's up over 2,500%. That's a 25x. It's like turning $1,000 into over $25,000. And the bull run is just getting started. The list goes on and on and on. Our team called Sui, Ondo, and even some of the biggest cult-based meme coins like MOG back in July 20th of 2023, the day that MOG launched. So if you want to learn how our team is finding these altcoins before they explode, we just launched Altcoin Pro University, where our research team gives you real-time altcoin picks with explosive potential for this bull run, along with 100+ expert curated classes crafted by industry experts to discover these gems yourself on top of our live weekly calls every single week for in-depth crypto market analysis and daily updates. And that's just a fraction of what we offer inside of Altcoin Pro University. Just go through the link in the description below, get in right now, watch the 26-minute video covering everything that Altcoin Pro University offers.